Without question, this signature building that stands around us is one of our city's greatest, if not the city's greatest, accomplishment of the past 25 years, and is probably the best investment ever by local taxpayers. Aside from being one of the most recognizable structures in the nation with its sail-like top, it has helped transform San Diego into a world-class meeting and convention destination. It has hosted hundreds of national events, including a national political convention and, of course, the wildly popular Comic-Con, all of which has fueled our economy, created jobs, and generated millions in tax revenues that fund parks, libraries, police, and fire protection. Since opening, the convention center has returned more than $327 million to San Diego taxpayers. This past fiscal year marked its strongest performance yet. More than $30 million in tax revenues went back to the city of San Diego. This facility is the goose that lays the golden eggs for taxpayers. For every dollar of tax revenues invested, it returned $2.36 in tax revenue this year. But like that goose, if we don't protect our investment in this facility, the golden eggs will go away. This Friday, the Convention Center Corporation's Board of Directors will consider a purchase agreement for a land lease that will secure additional land that will allow for an expansion of this building. The bottom line is we're at risk of losing the most lucrative of these conventions because the existing facility is no longer large enough to accommodate them. I'm hopeful that our Convention Center Board will vote on Friday to move forward with this purchase agreement, an important first step toward expanding this very important facility. I'd like now to introduce Cheryl Kendrick, the chair of the San Diego Convention Center Corporation and a very good friend.
Good morning. 25 years ago this November, San Diego voters approved the ballot initiative that would launch this very successful building. This Friday, at our regularly scheduled board meeting, the Board of Directors of the Convention Center Corporation will consider a purchase agreement for a land lease to secure control over additional land behind the current facility to allow for an expansion of the existing convention center. The land adjacent and behind this current facility offers us the opportunity to not only expand this successful facility, but also to enhance bayfront public access and public serving amenities. The expansion will include the development of a convention-oriented hotel and will include a previously planned water taxi. This is only the first step in a long process that will involve the public, key stakeholders, and our community partners. Once the land for an expansion is secured, we will move forward to determine how an expanded facility will fit onto the site, how much space it will provide, and the financial cost. At this initial state, we do not yet have renderings or images of what an expanded facility will look like. Acquiring the land allows us to now work with our partners on a design and financing over the next year. Public input will be an essential part of this process. An expanded facility will be built with environmental sustainability as a guiding principle. The Convention Center Corporation has a long record of leadership in energy efficiency, water conservation, food composting, waste minimization, and environmental purchasing. The expansion will be designed and built to ensure that we continue to lead in that important effort. I want to briefly talk about why an expansion is so important for our city at this time. The San Diego Convention Center has helped transform San Diego into a world-class meeting and convention destination, driving our economy, creating jobs, and returning millions in tax revenues to our city to fund parks, libraries, police, and fire protection. Since opening in 1989, we have returned more than $327 million to San Diego taxpayers. This past fiscal year marked our strongest performance to date. More than $30 million in tax revenues went back to the city of San Diego. An expansion that doubles the size of our current exhibit space will help us return up to $50 million in tax revenues back to the city annually. We turn away approximately a year's worth of business annually. The demand for an expanded convention center is here. We simply need more product to sell, meaning more exhibit and more meeting space. In the simplest of terms, an expanded convention center means more jobs, more tax revenues to fund critical city services, and a stronger economic impact on our regional economy. Comic-Con is just one example among numerous where our most lucrative clients that generate the biggest tax revenues back to the city either have outgrown our facility and cannot return or will outgrow us in the next few years. Comic-Con has grown with us as our building has grown. I will let them share with you why an expansion is important to their desire to stay in San Diego. It is my pleasure to introduce to you David Glanzer, Director of Marketing and Publicity, Comic-Con International.
Thank you very much for having me here today. As many of you know, Comic-Con started right here in San Diego nearly 40 years ago. Our very first event was held just a few blocks away at the basement of the U.S. Grand Hotel and attracted just 300 people. This past summer saw our attendance top 126,000 people. This event is truly a world-class event and attracts people from all over the world. Of course, Comic-Con has come a long way over the years, and so has San Diego. We moved from our humble beginnings in this world-class facility to this world-class facility back in 1991. And when the San Diego Convention Center expanded in 2001, we grew into that expansion. Like Comic-Con, many Convention Center staff members have worked on this show for many years. I'd like to point out, in particular, Tim Pontrelli, who worked with us back when we were at the old Community Concourse building back in 1982. He's helped to make sure this show runs from a building logistics standpoint as smoothly as possible. And of course, Tim now works here at the Convention Center, and his dedication is valued by all of us at Comic-Con because, as many people know, this is not the easiest show in the world to produce. Being a neighbor to the downtown community nearly these 40 years, we are obviously proud of the energetic and vibrant growth the Gaslamp Quarter has experienced. With world-class restaurants, entertainment, shopping, and nightclub venues, the Gaslamp Quarter is a destination unto itself. And because of the friendly residents, the wonderful weather and coastline, San Diego has always been a perfect vacation destination. The addition of the Convention Center also makes it a great business destination. Because we began in San Diego, of course, we would love to stay here. But we have to consider hard facts in any future decisions we make. And biggest among those is whether or not the facility can accommodate our growth. This year, for the second time in a row, we've had to limit attendance to the event and sold out long before the doors even opened. Additionally, we had a wait list of over 300 exhibitors who wanted to participate in our show, but because we had no space available, they had to be turned away. Currently, we utilize every square foot of the convention facility, as well as utilizing some neighboring hotels for additional meeting space. It is for this reason that we are in support of an expansion of the San Diego Convention Center. It will not only benefit our event, but the city as well. Our most recent survey shows that Comic-Con generated in excess of $62.5 million for the local economy, not to mention the tax dollars that generated as well. Those tax dollars are urgently needed by this city. We're presently booked into the facility until 2012. By then, it is our hope that the Convention Center, city, and port officials will, by that time, have the expansion well underway. Until then, please let us know when the groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled. We'll want to be there to celebrate when the first shovel of dirt is turned over. Thank you very much.